In this alternate reality, Harry Potter drops out of Hogwarts and becomes a wildly famous eccentric musician, and also he's secretly an assassin. Starting off, we have the magnificent curly-headed Weird Al being rushed to an operating room at top speed. Hold up, wait a minute. Anyway, they zap his a couple times, but no dice. Bro is dead. Never mind. Then he violently demands a paper and a number 2 pencil. Maybe he saw the afterlife and is about to tell us all about it. Instead, we rewind back to his childhood, where he can be found hiding under the covers of sneakily listening to a wacky music radio show hosted by one Dr. Demento, who's the guy on the poster on the wall, who's actually Dwight, aka Rainn Wilson. Suddenly his mom catches him in the act and scolds him with the old, "That music's gonna rot your brain." Baby Weird Al walks away ashamed. Then his mother stumbles upon a wacky, colorful shirt. She has a deep exhale as if she found an AR-15 hiding under his bed. But this is even worse. Her son's got terrible fashion sense. Later at dinner, young Al asks Pops how his day at work was. "How was my day? We had another fatality down at the factory. I would have tried to save the boy, but I've already lost one hand." Jeez, well, at least it wasn't his right hand. On a more wholesome note, Pop says he can pull some strings and get Al a summer job. But Al says no. "I'm a singer, Dad, and I will be America's next hit teen idol," or whatever. His father cannot believe his ears and pressures the boy to sing. Soon, he will regret having ears. Al hits us with a freshly squeezed take on an old classic, Amazing Grapes. You see what I did there? Absolute knee slapper. But Dad doesn't think so. Blasphemy, he calls out, then slams the table for good measure and to establish dominance. Mom chips in saying the two of them had a long talk and decide that they just don't want him to be himself or do the things he loves, which is perfectly reasonable. But Al's like, "They don't understand me." Fast forward a few weeks later and a wacky traveling salesman stops by to dangle this mystery box in front of Al's face. "No thanks, double it and give it to the next person." Just kidding. The man convinces Al with the promise of getting a marketing strategy as old as time. So what's in the box? A piano with an extra chromosome. But Al loves it and immediately embraces the accordion, then blesses us with the tune. It's awful, but the salesman declares that Al is a natural talent.
"You're gonna be drowning in so much poop." Hey!
Dad pulls up all like, "What is my innocent son doing wearing that devil squeeze box?" Bro really did just call it that. Then immediately punches the salesman in the mouth before he can even say anything. The man begs for his life, but the dad keeps punching in bunches. God. So Mama finally arrives on the scene and gets Dad to go for a walk. All his attacks were on cooldown anyway. The chair slam was definitely his ult. Now while the salesman is literally dying, Mom brokers a deal. "Don't sue us and we'll buy the stupid wearable piano." Al is like, "Yippee, hooray." But Mom reminds him that it must remain their little secret. He can only play it in hiding, very quietly, such that his dad never know his son possesses the devil's squeeze box, or whatever.
"I think I have a collapsed lung."
Can't you see they're having a conversation, man? Seriously? Anyway, fast forward a few years and Al is a nerd, but still gets invited to a party by the cool kids. Looks like he can't go. And sneaking out isn't an option because apparently his mom tucks him in every night to make sure he doesn't get night terrors. Dude, you have night terrors?
Just in case.
You know what? He's right. Better safe than sorry. The two bros end up having a galaxy brain idea. Just use a hey boy. Wait, what the f is a hey boy? Oh, okay, yeah, that's brilliant. So they arrive at the party, but something's wrong. It's a polka party. Wait, what the f is polka? Polka is a dance and genre of dance music originating in 19th century Bohemia, now part of the Czech Republic, though associated with Czech culture. Polka is popular throughout Europe and the Americas.
I'm the fastest reader in the world.
Anyway, Al's dad would not approve of this devil music, so he starts to head out. But his buds are like, "Bro, live a little." And so he does, but no one dances with him. Relatable. Then suddenly, the boys whip out an accordion that they found. They're acting like they just found the secret stash of angry juice, and Al is looking at it like they just found the love of his life. He's about to bust. They invite him to play with it, but he declines. Here? How embarrassing. Eventually, he gives into the peer pressure. Yes, they're doing the chicken dance at him. So he whips out the greatest accordion solo ever listened to by human ears. Everyone is speechless. They let him cook as his fingers sputter their way around the keys. The crowd starts clapping. Sorry, but hold it. That devil music was too fire.
It's the cops! Everyone, run!
Prepare to be for the long of the law.
Al gets sent back to his parents where his devious hey boy is uncovered. Daddy-O is hella pissed, but Al raises a pretty good point. He's not like his dad, he doesn't want to be like his dad, and he doesn't want to work the factory. Plus, what do they even make in the factory? "You will find out what we make at the factory when you work at the factory." I was like, "No, Dad, I really like music and I'm really, really, really good at the accordion." But wait a second. How did he get so good at the accordion? Al reveals the truth. He's a closeted accordion player. Literally, he's been practicing secretly in the closet. Next thing you know, Daddy-O storms into the closet, finds the devil's squeeze box, raises it over his head, and throws it on the ground in slow motion. No! Al just about goes Super Saiyan in that moment, wagging his finger at his dad, proclaiming that he's going to be the most famous accordion player in an extremely specific genre of music.
I'll show everybody.
Get out!
Okay, definitely none of this actually happened. Time skip a few years and yes, finally, my boy is here. You're an eccentric musician, Harry. Look, join a band. Why not? Al sings his heart out for an audition, but I'm guessing he's not their type. Yep, rejected. Whatever, their email. Al heads home to his roommates and apparently this is the 5th audition he's been kicked out of this week. It's almost like no one wants an accordion player in their band, but his roomies beg to differ. Al is just on the bleeding edge, they say, but it's more like bleeding, period. This accordion shit is on life support. Anyway, they chat about life away from their parents and how they can do whatever they want, like eat a ton of and stay up all night sleeping a bunch of the usual. Then out of nowhere, Steve goes on a spiel about driving on the wrong side of the road with his eyes closed, not knowing if he'll live to see another day. Suck on that, Mom and Dad. High five. But Al's like, Steve, no. But that brief moment of genuine empathy is quickly interrupted by Bermuda asking Al what's the one thing he wasn't allowed to do that he most wants to do. Make up words to a song that already exists. Ah, of course. But it's not that simple. We must wait for inspiration to strike. In the meanwhile, Al makes a sandwich while the bros play some tunes on the radio. As Al whips his meat out, a eureka moment begins to brew within his mind. At the same time, the radio is stuck, looping the same part of the song, My Sharona. Al has entered a deep trance of thought, and the boys take notice. Hold up, let him cook. They all turn their gaze to Al as he stares down the packet of bologna. My bologna. By God, he's done it. Al rushes over to the boys and starts hitting his bologna remix. Shit slaps. Dude, I've got chills. Where did that come from? Well, years of childhood abuse apparently. Okay, so now we've got to record this one-hit wonder, but they're all broke. But the gas station bathroom does have pretty sick acoustics. Get out, we're trying to record something. You know what? It does sound pretty good. Not as good as parking lot acoustics though. A few My Bolognas later, and the mixtape is sent off to the Captain Buffoon show. Into the mailbox, do a spin, hit a split, and enjoy the clapping. Well, now it's time to sit back and wait to be famous. Or is it? It's not that simple, Al. You gotta be consistent with your grind set, and one day, you'll get there. Oh man. Just then, Al turns on the radio and hears the Captain Buffoon show playing his song, calling it the hit of the week. Woo! Yeah, baby, that's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Alright, settle down, guys, please. Next up, time to get a record deal. Hold up. Wait a minute. That's the real Weird Al. Harry Potter Al jams in his seat while real Al has a distinct look of disdain. I've heard enough. They hate it. But then Al shares that he's a hit on the Captain Buffoon show. Oh, well, in that case, we'll sign you for a 14-song record deal. Really? No. Then this dude calls Al a talentless muggle and says he's ugly, has a horrible mustache, ridiculous hair, and stupid glasses. And I can't really disagree with him. Also, I like how you can tell that real Al is feeling those words too. Anyway, there is a ray of hope. Real Al tells him that if he really wants to do this stupid music thing, then maybe he could write more than one song and do some live performances to build up his chops. And so he takes their advice. Over at the Cobra Pit, Al prepares to head on stage, while the band that rejected him earlier bombs and gets booed off stage. You guys suck ass! Plus, we catch a glimpse of Dr. Demento in the crowd, Al's childhood hero. Back to Al, he's about to go poopy in his pants, but the boys give him a pep talk and send him off. It's a rough start and he's all alone, so they decide to spontaneously jump in. Before they know it, the whole bar is singing along to I Love Rocky Road. This man is in tears, and Dr. Demento is clapping furiously. Meanwhile, Al is like, wait, why didn't you guys tell me you could all play music? Well, it didn't seem relevant until now. Fair enough. Backstage, Dr. Demento surprises Al with a seductive pose. Al can barely keep it together as the blood rushes out of his brain. He's so excited. But Dr. Demento isn't one for all the gushing and gets straight to business. You're headed straight to the top, kiddo. There's just one problem. Al Yankovic is a lame name. How about we call you Weird Al Yankovic? And so, Weird Al was born.
Harry Potter is dead.
And he gets invited to Demento's party, a wacky get-together of many colorful characters like Pee Wee Herman. Need a hand? I'm sorry. And don't forget the great Tiny Tim. You know, the tulips guy? Meanwhile, all the other goofy folks are jealous of Demento's new protege. Wait, Conan O'Brien, not you too. Then a deep-voiced character approaches the Demento duo from behind. Holy peaches, it's Jack Black. I can only take so much, movie. Guessing he's another wacky performer going by the name Wolfman Jack, and he's not on good terms with Demento, who immediately calls security. But Jack says he's just here to see what the cat dragged in. He's convinced Al is a talentless hack. A crowd of goofballs begins to form as Wolfman challenges Al to an on-the-spot parody. Suddenly, a mysterious man emerges from the crowd, John Deacon. Who? Applied the bass and Queen. Oh, and yet still, no one cares, cause he's just a normal dude, which is pretty much what 2023 feels like. Anyway, John picks a song and Al is quaking in his boots as Jack taunts him. Demento's like, you don't gotta prove anything, and Jack is like, see, talentless hack. Come on, John, let's blow this popsicle stand. No, get me my accordion. The beat begins to thump, and He's making fart sounds with his hand as part of the song. What do you want me to say? Al sings, another one rides the bus. Another classic zinger full of puns, goofs, gaffs, farts, and queefs. The whole crowd is pitching their sound. Jack is left speechless. That was beautiful. And John offers Al the opening act for Queen at Wembley Stadium. He's practically in tears. Al and the boys are starstruck. Al takes a deep breath and lets out a resounding, hard pass. Then Demento hits the emote while everyone erupts with laughter. And you know what? Let's actually tase the shit out of this guy. I'm starting to think this isn't based on Al's true life events. But I'm having a good time, and so is Al. He's on Oprah. His new single is quintuple platinum. He's on the cover of Rolling Stone, and he's got abs. Then we catch this blonde bombshell eyeing Al's accomplishments, which I forgot to mention includes being Pablo Escobar's favorite musician. Ay caramba. We learn that the songs Al's parodying get a boost, which they're calling the Yankovic bump. This very much catches the blondie's attention. Back to Al and Oprah, she asks him how proud his parents are of his success, which sends him into a PTSD flashback. Right after the show, he calls up Mom, telling her all about his sold out shows and how alive he feels. And she's just like, that's nice, sweetie. Then tells him not to forget to eat bran, because he gets all moody when he's constipated. Actual movie lines. Anyway, Al asks about Dad, and well, Dad has a lot of feelings about Al's success. But the key point is that he's definitely not proud of him, and thinks parody songs are stupid. In that moment, Al's heart shattered. To add insult to injury, Mom adds that Dad kinda never even wanted kids. He just had a weak pullout game. Al says his goodbyes, then eats the phone across the room. Despair overcomes him, but he's not alone. Demento's snacking it up in the hot tub. You know, I got another hot tub downstairs I could warm up for you. Oh no, I wouldn't want to trouble you. Seeing as this man is going nowhere, Al decides he might as well make him his therapist. Al divulges details about his daddy issues and the fact he doesn't want to make parody songs anymore. He wants to be original. I feel you, Al. I'm stuck reworking movies into YouTube videos, and it's slowly killing me inside. Anyway, Demento gives Al some guac, but as he's eating up, he realizes it tastes kind of funky. Turns out the secret ingredient is mushrooms, and I'm not talking shiitake. What? This is just what you need for a creative breakthrough. Resistance is futile, and soon Dr. Demento becomes Doctor Strange, and somehow the CGI on that third eye is better than a multi-gazillion-dollar Marvel movie. Al enters a hellscape of parental trauma before Demento the Angel guides him to the light with Captain Crunch and a banana. Then he is reborn, like a little baby chicken, but he's jacked, and then his face melts off. Cut to Al tossing his tape to real Al. Just Eat It begins to play, clearly a parody of that one song, and yet the movie will have you believe it's 100% original. They even spent a good 2 minutes hammering the point just in case the audience thinks they were hallucinating. Then Al whips out a smoke, which is against the rules. No matter, he'll just put it out. I totally deserve that. Yes, you did. Sometime later in Al's glorious mansion, the doorbell rings. It's Blondie, who is actually Madonna. Turns out Al already knows her down to the childhood details of her backstory. Bro has that stalker riz. Given his look, I'm not surprised. Madonna enters gracefully, practically swimming through the rich air. To make a long story short, she wants Al to parody her latest song so it can boost her own sales, and she knows just how to get what she wants. Maybe a bit too well. The shattered statue of Al is a subtle foreshadowing technique that metaphorically suggests that his downfall is imminent. Trust me, you would have missed it if not for my guidance. After Madonna demonstrates for Al just how she got famous, he admits he lied. He won't parody her song because now he's an all-original artist. She hits him with an absolutely criminal side-eye as rage overcomes her. Fast forward a bit, and Just Eat It is Al's biggest song ever, beating out the Beatles for the most singles in the top 10. But he doesn't seem to care at all. Meanwhile, Madonna's popping bubbles in his face and nibbling at his ears. It should have been me, not him! Anyway, Demento can hardly get a word in with these two lovebirds. Apparently, Pablo Escobar wants Al to perform at his birthday party, but nothing ends up getting accomplished. Later at dinner, Madonna reveals that they're soulmates and confesses her true love. You're so right. This has been the happiest 6 hours of my life. Bruh, okay, there's no way any of this is true. Okay, straight from Al's mouth, our relationship is platonic. The only time I actually met her was in 1985, and I talked to her for like maybe 45 seconds backstage. That's the extent of the whole relationship. Dude, imagine being Madonna and this weird guy you met once makes an entire movie about clapping you repeatedly. Back to dinner. Al's got an urgent phone call. It's Tony, you know, real Al. He's got dire news. Some nobody by the name of Michael Jackson just parodied Al's song and is calling it Just Beat It. It's not even about food. Al is absolutely fuming. What kind of sick freak changes the words to someone's song? Now people are gonna think mine is the parody and his is the original. You know, this part I think is actually true. It checks out. Trust. Al proceeds to beat the devil out of the phone. Poor Tony. Al returns to his seat. Sir, your filet mignon is ready. How you gonna release a song called Just Eat It and do something like that? Anyway, with Al in shambles, Madonna sees her opportunity to corrupt his soul. She orders a whole bottle of anger juice, and before you know it, he's angry, and at his bandmates of all people. He lets loose on all of them, saying he's gonna replace them with a drum machine and a guitar machine. Settle down, Al. I could replace you with ChatGPT. They've got a show at 8, but for now they disperse, disappointed in Al. Demento stops by and gives his honest thoughts on Madonna. She's an evil succubus and she'll drop you like a bag of spoiled cabbage when she's done with you. Woman moment. Al's like, shut up, you're not my dad. With all this negative energy in the air, Al decides he needs to go for a drive to clear his head. Fortunately, his loving girlfriend stops him. Babe, you can't drive, not without your keys. Top 10 anime betrayal moments. Al speeds up, drenched in the juice, until the inevitable happens. We're brought back to the movie's opening scene and Madonna's at the ready with the paper and pencil Al asked for. Quick with it, the show is in 30 minutes. Turns out the hospital setting was perfect as Al turns Madonna's like a virgin into like a surgeon.
Like a surgeon.
Yeah, he's definitely a surgeon, and he's getting zesty with it. Madonna's dancing along with dollar signs in her eyes. Oh no, Al isn't looking so good. I really should have got that blood transfusion, babe. Miraculously, Al manages to stay on his feet. Sorta, not really. Well, he finishes the show, and that's what really matters. For the next act, Al opts to go shirtless. Pretty sure Daniel Radcliffe just wanted to show off his physique here. Understandable. He starts ranting about whipping it out for a few minutes, which gets the cops' attention. It ends up just being his accordion, but the damage is done, and they demolish him. In the aftermath, Al is distraught. He tells Madonna he's a mess, and without her, he'd be totally alone. I don't know what I'd do if I lost you, then proceeds to lose her. Wait, what? Madonna's kidnapped and Al is held at gunpoint. Suddenly, the sleeper agent inside of him awakens, and he knows karate. Kapow. But it won't be so easy. He's apprehended, but then snaps this guy's ankle and flips this Chinese guy over a table, being chilling. The first guy's back with a tackle, but after an elbow and a knee, it's game over for him. Al hops over the counter and it looks like the cooks are baddies too. No matter, he activates Jackie Chan mode and beats them up with a random rank he found. With those two dealt with, the final boss enters. Bro is a giant, like Hagrid, but in the end, short kings stay winning.
Order up.
As Al rushes out, one of the men in the van shouts out, "Pablo Escobar sends his regards." Ay caramba. Cut to the middle of a Colombian jungle where two armed henchmen hear a sound. They investigate. And by investigate, I mean shoot at the air. We got him, they think. But in fact, that was no man.
Es un hey boy.
Surprise, bozos! Next, we spot Madonna tied up at Pablo's party. Not gonna lie, it looks like a pretty wholesome time. Then Al stomps in on a table. The pair get chatting, but the music is a bit loud, so Pablo calmly asks the band to stop, Dumbledore style. Much better, now I can hear the voices in my head. So basically, all Pablo wants is a performance. Maybe you can do your Michael Jackson parody. Oh, he did not just say that. That's not a parody! So anyway, he started blasting. I don't care what the schools tell you. Weird Al single-handedly took down the cartel on this day. Stop, it's my birthday. Al shows mercy, but Pablo seizes the moment and blasts back. Anyway, back to the party. Not so fast, Pablo. You're forgetting that Al is quintuple platinum certified, making him bulletproof. Now eat it. Rip in peace. Madonna is set loose, but so are her ambitions. With Pablo down, she wishes to become the new head of the cartel with Al by her side. Imagine the fame, the power. But even for Al, this is one step too far. He realizes she's only been using him to further her career.
Well, yeah.
He walks away and gets shot at a few times, but fortunately her aim is god-awful. Okay, now she's not even trying. Back in the States, Al decides to do some soul-searching by working at his dad's factory. Finally, the job is simple, just push a button, pull a lever, and okay, someone is already getting eaten alive by a machine. That's okay though. Dad's here. They have a heart-to-heart, and Dad admits he's proud of his boy. He's even wearing a fruity shirt under his outfit, just like Al. Like some kind of Superman. The wholesomeness continues at home, where we learn that Mom is fat. She's fat. She's really fat now. Dad then shares his hidden backstory lore. Turns out he grew up in an Amish town, and just like Al, he was the weird one, always making up words to songs at church. No one liked it. One day, he ventured out into the city and spotted the love of his life. Not Mom, but an accordion. Unlike Al, he sucked, and his dreams were crushed and ridiculed. You see, he just didn't want his son to follow the same fate, so he hoped to crush his ideas before they became dreams. Suddenly a note slips out. It's full of lyrics for a parody song called Amish Paradise. Who knew Pop still had it in him? Al rolls with the tune and it's another instant classic. Man, I should have kept the publishing rights. No kidding, Dad. You know, without the mustache plus the round glasses, you can really see the inner Harry Potter peeking through. Wait, he was wearing fake upper lip skin? That's a first. Oh, and here comes Demento. The two make up and Demento reveals he had some time to think about what Al said. Truth is, he really does feel like his father. So much so that he's ready to adopt him. Oh, wow. Yeah, I literally just kind of made up with my dad. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. This is too awkward, please skip. At the Grammys, the award is being announced for arguably the most famous musician in an extremely specific genre of music. Al is on the edge of his seat. The suspense. Yes, he did it. He won. As he's giving his thanks, a suspicious fellow takes his seat with a rather large case. He inconspicuously whips out what's inside, and we can really see he got that thing on him. Waiting for your signal. Al concludes his emotional speech, and even pits his pants. The gunman takes aim, and then we see Madonna, cosplaying as a pirate. JK, she's the head of the cartel. Take the shot. No, not like this. Weird Al Yankovic was assassinated at the Shrine Auditorium in 1985. Madonna is still at large. Whoa, I've got chills. Finally, an honest biopic that doesn't make stuff up for dramatic effect. Moral of the story? I don't know, but that was weird.
Weird? What? What's so weird?
Guys, the channel is kind of dying, and it's kind of my fault. But hopefully this vid can be the start of a new golden era of minute movies. If you want to see more like this one, rewatch the video, leave a like, leave a comment. If you don't want to see more, go back in time, unwatch the video, leave a dislike, and tell me my videos are bad in the comments. Also, give me some movie suggestions, please.